I'm Joyce Taylor with J. Taylor Gated Horse Sales. I'm offering by auction Smoke on the horsebay.com. Smoke is a Tennessee walking horse. He's a gelding. He is 15 hands and he's 12 years old. I thought it would be nice to show what Smoke is like on the trail. So, we're happy to have you along on our virtual trail ride. Smoke is a kind, pleasant trail horse. He neck reins very well, and he has a great, calm disposition. He has an extraordinary smooth gait, whether it's just a flat walk or a pleasure gait or up in a fast rack. Smoke would actually be a great horse for a first-time gaited horse owner. He's that naturally gaited. I'm showing you first Smoke on a trail ride with other people. On this ride, there was 18 riders. Smoke will ride in the front or in the back. He will lead or he will follow. He's a really nice all-around horse. He really would be for almost any age rider or experienced rider, as long as it wasn't just a real timid beginner rider. He will step out and he'll move on down the trail when you ask him to. I trail ride and I camp and I boondock a lot. Smoke is experienced trail horse. He's good on high line, high tie, and he has been introduced to being staked out as well. He has very good ground manners, and he's very good in the saddle as well. He eats well on the road and takes care of himself and takes care of his rider as well. The black mare we're following here, she really liked her space between her and the next rider, so I had to remind Smoke to stay off of her a couple times, but he was very compliant and kind in that, and we were able to give her space and she was able to be more comfortable. I am riding with the Buffalo River chapter of the Backcountry Horsemen of America, which I am a member. We do trail maintenance and clearing. This was a work day. On work days, you have to stop and dismount and remount, and your horse needs to be able to stand patiently while you're doing work and be around other horses in pretty tight quarters, and Smoke does a very nice job at that. We're riding here. This is the Buffalo River here in the Ozark Mountains in the National Forest in Northwest Arkansas. I thought it would also be nice for you to see how Smoke is, how he does on the trail riding solo as well. This is a ride that we took recently. We rode about 3 hours. I had just left the barn, and Smoke did a really good job leaving the barn. He's not barn sour. He's good about leaving other horses, and was just moving right on down the trail kindly and nicely. I was just kind of letting him set the pace right here. He's just riding around nice and relaxed. Here I ask him to leave the 2-track, and we move into the woods, and we start down a steep decline. It's very rocky right here. The trail is very narrow, and he's taking his time. He's being cautious, and he's taking care of himself and me as the rider right here. As I am riding along and I am filming, I am riding one-handed. So I am neck reining Smoke and riding on a loose rein as well. He pretty much stays to the trail unless it comes to an area that we can't hardly tell where the trail is. He navigates well around trees, but I do reinforce that with steering him around trees to make certain that I'm not going to bump my knees on a tree. And on this 3-hour ride, we didn't bump a single tree. We're coming up on a real treacherous part of the trail right here. There's so many rocks. We didn't know which way to try to get through this. So we just kind of decided to go right down the middle of it. Smoke takes his time. He's looking for best footing. There's hardly a place for him to place his foot on the ground. He's having to step on those big rocks to get through this. And we make it nicely through. Another nice thing about Smoke is he's not a nervous horse. He does not spook on the trail or at the barn. He doesn't shy or spook or look for boogers or move away from unfamiliar objects. He's a pretty solid horse, and I feel like he's a bright horse too. You can see he's got his ears up the whole time. I think he enjoys being out and on the trail. He's a people horse. He likes people. He enjoys attention. He's easy to catch in the field or on the trail, sometimes just around the camp. I let him just drag a lead and graze, and he doesn't move off and will let me walk right up to him. This is very rocky. He's having to take his time. Trees and logs down. It doesn't bother him that we're moving through these big rock formations. beautiful in the Ozark Mountains. It's wonderful to be able to be out and enjoying the outdoors and the beauty and riding a good horse. I think I tightened up on my reins a little bit right there, and we decided to go ahead and move on out and gate some as we were out of the rocks. I'm riding Smoke in just a pretty normal walking horse bit. It does have a walking horse shank on the bit with a mild port. But I think you could probably ride him with anything. Later on in the ride, I realized that I had left the curb chain hanging loose. It wasn't even attached. And I'd ridden him over some really rocky and treacherous areas with no problem whatsoever at all. I think you could probably ride him with anything. I pull him up and ask him to stand right here. When I'm riding, I like to stop my horse and ask him to stand, then release him, let him move on. I like to dismount and get back on again. I did that several times on this ride. Just stopped and picked up some trash, stopped and took photos at different places, and he stands nicely. He needs to stand and let you remount without problem as well. We stopped at a little creek back there that was flowing, and he got a little drink. I like for my horses to drink on the trail. It really helps that they take care of themselves and stay hydrated, especially during the hotter months and when you're boondocking and water's not always readily accessible. So it's nice he will drink and will take care of himself that way. He also drinks at the camp when water's offered and he's thirsty, and he does eat well as well too when we're on the road, so I don't have to worry about him then. I think you can probably see that chain curb strap flapping on the right side of his muzzle. The video's a little long, but if I was looking for a new trail riding horse and if I was making a decision from videos only or online, I would want to know what the horse was like on the trail. We're starting to descend a steep place now. This is very treacherous area. It actually has a name. I can't remember the name. It's something like, I don't know, like washboard heel or ridgeback or something. And it is steep, it is rocky. For a while we were kind of swinging back and forth our heads so that he could not go all the way straight down, because he was having to kind of almost jump down some areas here. He just took his time. Okay, there's looking back at the trail. We made it. And we'll move on. There's a waterfall that I was looking for and wasn't sure how to get to it, so we had to end up kind of going off course and kind of bushwhacking through some area to find a way to get over to it. I knew we had to be up on a thin ledge at the bottom of the rock wall. We turned up a hill right there, kind of a little steep climb, and we were able to get up on the ledge. And we were able to move down it, but we came to an area that was impassable. And we had to manage a pivot and turn around and find our way back down the hill and try to find another place to get up on the ledge. And we're on the ledge again. This is much better. It's almost solid rock up here. Flat rocks. But it's gorgeous. It really is a blessing to have such beautiful places that we could ride, and when we have a nice horse, we can get them to get us to those places safely off the beaten path. It's wonderful to be able to experience such glorious places. And we made it to the waterfall. We stop here and don't try to get any closer. I zoom up so we can see the waterfall. So pretty. Worth the climb. Okay, we continue on our ride, and this is some footage where I just tied my reins and together, and I tossed them up on Smoke's neck and just let him set the pace and to take us safely on the trail and through the woods. The trail was a little wider here, so he was easily able to keep us on trail. We did come to an intersection that I did guide him with a little bit of pressure on his legs and just kind of leaning the direction that I wanted us to go, and did that just a few times when he wanted to kind of veer off of the trail a little bit. But there's several minutes of me riding Smoke like this without the reins, just a show and just a good testament to his good and calm and kind nature. He's a safe horse, and he's a fun horse. So it's nice to have a horse you can count on, you can trust, and enjoy the trail with. So thank you for joining Smoke and I on our virtual trail ride. Again, Smoke is offered by auction on thehorsebay.com, and that auction will end on May the 8th. So if you have interest in Smoke, we'd love for you to place a bid on him. And if you'd like additional information or have any questions whatsoever of Smoke or myself, please do call or text. I'd be happy to visit. Again, my name is Joyce Taylor, and my phone number is 501-681-8580. Thanks so much for joining us on our ride.